Hey guys. Hey everyone. All right, so now we're going to get a little deep. I want to talk about something that has been occurring to me over the past couple of days. And I know it's controversial, but I'm going to give you my position on it, okay? So right now we're going to discuss why should we be cautious of recreational marijuana use. Now remember, I'm going to give you my point of view. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are going to have a different point of view than mine, but I'm going to share my point of view. The main reason in which we want to be very cautious of the recreational marijuana use is for one main reason, okay? And I'm going to tell you. Right now, we are up against depopulating the blacks here in America. We're up against a national crisis of genocide, and it is taking part in several different facets. It's ultimately leading to the genocide of Black America, okay? So, what the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about marijuana equates to genocide? It's not necessarily a direct correlation. However, when you look at all of the different pieces, you will see how they connect together. Right now, and for always, in historic America, we have seen an attack on the family structure of Black America, on the health of Black America. What do you mean the health of Black America? You can go to Popeyes and feed your entire family for $3. Clearly, that food is not healthy for you. But it's pumped into our communities quite intentionally, quite purposefully, all right? So we have an attack on the family structure. We have attack on the educational structure, all right? The majority of people within our communities are not being educated properly to even be free thinkers. Do you know what's educating our youth right now? Their phones, okay? And in addition to the lack of education in which we are getting within our communities, a lot of people, a lot of children are the result of single-parent homes, single mothers at that. You know why? Because there's a great deal of Black men that are in prisons because they are being targeted by the system as well. So you have an attack on the health, you have an attack on the families, you have an attack on the education, you have an attack on sexuality. Huge attack on being able to define the roles of the Black man and the Black woman. Sure, this actually goes for the trajectory of humanity in general, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm not talking about the masses. I'm specifically and intentionally talking about the attack on sexuality within the Black communities. I saw an instance in a public school in New Orleans where there was a little girl. She was getting bullied by another little girl. Maybe she was 13, 14 years old. And there was another teenager there, a boy, and he told her, "I can't help you, sis. I might break my nail." Okay? He had on his acrylic tips nails with the French tips. So we're attacking the sexuality. Oh, but wait, why is that happening? Because their idols are on the cover of album covers with dresses. Now, I'm not saying that I'm against the representation of free speech in sexuality. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I'm recognizing the very quite intentional attack on certain dynamics of what is happening within the Black community. That's what I'm speaking about, okay? So please differentiate the difference. All right, so we have all of these different dynamics in which I'm speaking of. Then let's not forget that Margaret Sanger created Planned Parenthoods, put them inside of black neighborhoods on purpose because she wanted to help decrease the black population. Words from her mouth. Do you know how many blacks have been aborted since 1973 when abortion became illegal? Take a guess. Let me see some guesses. I want you to guess how many blacks are not here just due to Margaret Sanger's Planned Parenthoods inside of black communities since 1973. Take a guess. 20 million. 20 million is the number because it's a purposeful attack on the black culture, okay? What does this all equate to? Genocide. Genocide is the purposeful, intended acts of destructing a people, a race of people. Where else does this play out? In Flint, Michigan. Flint, Michigan. The governor knew that the water was poisonous, is poisonous, and only changed the water source for the car companies. He allowed the car companies to have access to fresh, clean water while the masses of Flint, Michigan still drank and are currently still drinking poisonous water. Do you know why? Because it's a genocide. And yes, I'm emotional about this. Okay? And so let me just stop here and interject and say, this is a part of my evolution. What I'm sharing with you right now is a part of my evolution. I get it. All right? I get it. Okay? But I am more than this. All right? And I'm hoping that you are joining me on this evolution. Because in this evolution, I'm going to educate you on some real truth. Because it is my hope that you are able to differentiate between what the sheeple are doing and what you need to be doing. So the government tells you that marijuana is legal and we all jump for joy. Why don't we question that? I think we need to dissect that. There are reasons in which we need to dissect anything that the government is telling us. Okay, but we're going to get to the marijuana in a second. Back to the water in Flint. The rest of the United States is going on while there's people who are being quite intentionally killed. And what are we doing about it? We're trolling each other. You guys come on my page, you tear me down. You tear other people down, you get a kick out of it. You get a kick out of destroying others. For some reason that gives you power. Do you know what you could be doing with that energy? That negative energy in which you are exerting in the wrong places? Clearly the system wants you to do just that. And that's why I ask you the question again. Are you going to do what the masses tell you to do? Or are you going to use your critical thinking skills and say, you know what? I'm a powerful being. I have power. I have power to share love, to spread love. Okay? So now let's get into how this recreational marijuana use correlates to this plan, this structured plan, this quite intentional plan pertaining to genocide. All right? So, we already know that our food is targeted, our water is targeted, our health is targeted, our sexuality is targeted, our existence is targeted because we've aborted 20 million blacks since 1973. And then, if you are lucky enough to get here as a black male, it's a very high likelihood that you can be targeted by the system to go to prison. Okay, so in addition to all of these dynamics in which we all know, we now have the issue pertaining to the legalization of recreational marijuana. Now, let me preface my statement by saying I'm not talking about marijuana for medicinal use. Using marijuana for medicinal use is completely different, okay? Anytime that you use marijuana to heal some sort of illness or cure a pain, I fully support that, okay? But this is where I get nervous. I get nervous when the government, different parts of different parts of legislators throughout the United States says, you know what? Yeah, let's legalize it. Let's throw a tax on it. That makes me nervous. Because you know why? We are already a victim of all these things that I just mentioned to you. And then you're going to give us a substance that we know, definitively, we know this, puts us in a state, puts us in a mind state of very lackadaisical. Now, I don't want to hear all these people talk about marijuana doesn't do that to me. Yes, it does. That's what people smoke it for, so that you can relax, be chill, be calm, be high. We don't have time to be calm, chill, and high. We have things to do. We have to come together as a people so that we can begin this revolution, this collective revolution. Otherwise, they're going to wipe us out. If we continue to have abortions in the rate that which we are having them, statistically, we're not even going to have the numbers that we need to vote by the year 2040. Because don't forget that if you're a felon, you can't vote. Okay? So we're not in a position right now to be in this mind state. And then you have to add on top of it, do you know what the hell they were putting into this recreational weed? Do you have any idea? Were you there? You have no idea. Unless you are growing it in your backyard, which you can't. Because, let me remind you, that in many states, it is illegal to grow anything organic. I'm talking about tomatoes and basil. All right? So if you think that you're going to be able to grow your own marijuana as we progress into the future, please think twice. The marijuana, this recreational marijuana in which you are smoking, is given to you by a source unknown. And trust me, they are putting things inside of it that are contributing to this genocide, because that is the plan. But it is up to you to decide. Am I going to go with the sheeple because everyone is telling me that this makes sense? And yeah, marijuana should be legal. Or am I going to question the intention here? When you look at all of the pieces and put those pieces together, use your critical thinking skills, and I want you to tell me, when you look at the sequence of events, does this make sense? All of these zombie movies that you guys are watching, all over Netflix, Hulu, in the movie theater, I see so many damn zombie this and zombie that. That's subconscious conditioning, because we are turning into a zombie nation. A nation unable to think for themselves. A nation unable to help others. A nation unable to make free choices. We are turning into a zombie nation, and we're condoning it. It is time to stop this, okay? You guys control on my page all you want. I'm gonna speak my truth, okay? And my truth has nothing to do with any part of my body. It has to do with what the universe is speaking into me, and it has to do with my heart sharing it with you. I need you guys to start questioning what the hell is going on, okay? Be very cautious with this recreational marijuana use. And let me tell you this too, as it pertains to the medication, the medicating of our nation, because that's what this is. This is medicating of our nation. And look, they don't even have to force it on us. We're just like, yeah, cool, whatever you say. We don't have to question it. It's cool, it's marijuana, let's get high. You have a legacy to protect. You have children who will be here when you are gone. This is the last thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to roll out of this live. There is a strong connection between the effects of Ritalin, what Ritalin does to the brain. Ritalin, for many of you that don't know, Ritalin is a drug that is given to children who are diagnosed with this mysterious disease that has popped up in my time frame. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, especially when it's diagnosed for a 6-year-old. But it's called ADHD, okay? Attention deficit disorder or something along those lines. Doctors are highly prescribing this medication to young children, all right? Scientifically, just so you know, Ritalin has the same effects on the brain as cocaine, okay? Now, listen to this part. When your children are in school, they give you the medical diagnosis. Oh, wait, and please don't forget the fact that young black men, young black boys, and young black girls are completely disproportionately diagnosed with this crazy, ridiculously made up disease, okay? This ADHD crap, all right? Disproportionately diagnosed with this. And then the doctor hands the mother Ritalin, okay? So the mother says, she takes it upon herself to say, you know what? I don't want to give my child this Ritalin anymore. Do you know what they're going to do? Because the mission is to medicate society. They're going to send a correction officer, they're going to send child services, protective services to the mother's house, saying that your child told us that he hasn't taken his Ritalin in XYZ amount of time. And she's like, yeah, I don't want to give it to him anymore. I found out that it's not good for him. And then you know what ultimately can end up happening to that mother? Not only they will charge her with medical neglect because she does not want to give this drug to her child. And then not only will she jeopardize losing that child, but the rest of her children as well. Okay? So at some point, guys, we need to pay attention to anything that is systematic in nature and telling us that it's good. We don't have the best trust record going back 300 plus years. I really need you guys to start questioning these things. Medical neglect because you don't want to give your child a drug that has the same effects on his brain as cocaine? I hope you guys were able to receive some parts of what I said. Hopefully all. I appreciate you all for being here. Thank you.